So give me a minute. Okay. Now what's happening? Okay. Meeting is now sharing live on Facebook. Okay. Yes. So okay. What are they? Hello. Good afternoon. I think it's good evening for you, Caroline, in Australia.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for accepting my invite, and thank you for being so kind despite all the glitches.
That's okay. IT happens, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. So on this forum, everybody knows that I don't talk about the qualifications of the person. That's really important for what they achieved. But for me, why I'm calling them is not because they're qualified or not qualified. I'm calling them because they're my friends. And right now is
Okay.
the time to connect with friends. Because what we had in our life before is almost feeling like the past life. There is no freedom. I walked out today of my house and I saw, because I had to go to the dentist, and there was nothing pleasant to look at. There was, initially there used to be these busy roads in Mumbai. Today there was absolute ghost road in Mumbai.
Oh,
And
I can't imagine that.
yeah, nothing on the road, nothing.
Wow.
And people just, like, even if there is one or two people walking, it's like they have a mask on their face. And if you walk into the doctor's clinic and he's looking at me and saying, you know what, are you okay with coming right now when the coronavirus is going on? And I'm looking at him and thinking, am I going to get one? And then he's obviously in his PP suit that he's wearing, the whole overall. Life doesn't look normal visually. I'm a very visual person. And for me, visually, I need to see things nice. I need to
Yeah.
see that things are fine. So when I see you, Caroline, looking so beautiful today, it's a
Oh,
treat,
thank you.
it's a treat for my eyes. It's a treat for my eyes because it feels that at least someone is normal out there. At least something seems normal out there. And
Yeah.
we're going to be picking up a topic today, which is past life re-imprinting.
Yeah.
which is something that is so beautiful. A lot of people have heard about past life regression. What Caroline does is not past life regression. What she does is a level beyond that. I have experienced that when I went through my past life regression, I saw myself getting raped somewhere. Now that's a very horrible story to come up. And even though it's not there in my memory, when it comes up, it becomes real. And when it becomes real, it's almost like it's happening now. And when it's
Yep.
happening now, instead of sorting certain things out, it could create a disease in my body that I'm not even aware of, because it wasn't in my awareness before, but now it's in my awareness and I'm searching for clues. It's like a child didn't know that he was adopted before, but when he gets adopted or when he's told that you're adopted, he starts searching for sources. Why? Where are my biological parents? Similarly, when you have something that comes up in the past life, you start searching for clues of it in this life. And Charoline is someone who's found a way to go beyond. And so thank you so much for
Thank
accepting my
you.
invite. Thank you so much for being here. And I believe the people who are here are probably required to be, and that's why we had so much of a problem with the Zoom link today. So over to you,
Yeah.
Charoline. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, first of all, I have to say a big thank you to you, because when we first met, which is the beginning of 2018, and we met up in England, and Carl, my brother, who is a creator of Matrix Re-Imprinting, the founder, for the first time introduced me as like specializing in past lives, which he normally didn't do, because I usually have a different had a different speciality, but the past life stuff was really coming through strong, and he was starting to recognize the validity of that within Matrix Re-Imprinting. So and it was you that came running up to me and said, "Oh, Charoline, will you come to India and teach this, because you know, like a lot of our population is Hindu, or so, you know, and you believe in past lives." And I'm like, "Sure," you know. So I think it was like 11 months later that I actually came over and taught in India. It was just an absolute privilege, and I enjoyed every minute of it. In fact, I've just moved and I was going through all my Indian stuff, because as you know, I bought so much Indian because I love colour. So yeah, that brought it all back, and then here we are, you know, kind of doing this talk, which is amazing. Yeah. So yeah, you touched on past life regressions, you know, and I just want to share my thoughts on past life regressions, because I think a lot of people might do a past life regression with whoever is trained in that, looking for, you know, some magical, who was I in another lifetime? Was I a queen, a princess? Was I, you know, whatever? But it's not always the case. And so this past life regression can be done. And then, like you were saying, you know, you came across a situation where you were raped, and you wouldn't have been expecting that. And we talk about in mental health, like shocks, and how detrimental they are to our bodies. And so this is what's happening. And I'm hearing this time and time and time again. And it's really frustrating that past life regressions are being done with people who have no insights into this, so and don't know how to do the healing work. That's the problem. And so the past life, the past life comes up, the person doesn't know what to do with it, as you're saying, and then there's a physical reaction to that. Okay. And look, like for example, a guy said to me, we were just talking about past lives just in general, and he said, you know, I did a past life regression, and I discovered I was a perpetrator to a young girl in this past life. And he said, I was traumatized for 6 months. That's how long that stayed with him, right? So another lady actually rang me, wanted an emergency session, because she'd literally just been taken to a past life regression where she was on a ship, and she actually had to make the choice between whether she kept her son or daughter. And then she realized that that son and daughter were her now son and daughter. So it sent her into this whole fear of losing one of those children. And so we had to do an emergency session, really, to get her out of this spiral that she was in. And she's not even spiritual. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's not really into but it doesn't matter. But she still recognized that, you know, her children were these children of today. And so it was a massive relief for her to do some past life healing on that. And what we did was she chose not to have to choose between the children. She got to keep them both. All right, so that was the outcome of that. Yeah. Was there any comments on that, Anu? Or
We could ask them. The way we go about is generally you do the talk, and then we open up the forum for question answered.
Question.
Otherwise,
Okay.
it gets too noisy.
Yeah.
People
All
start
right. Brilliant.
up and then the recording is not so great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, where's my journey start? It's really interesting because I believe that through our journey, we are accessing past lives, even if we don't know it. Like you might do a meditation, which is what I did, and I accessed seeing two ladies dressed as servants in a household. I now believe it was London, not even knowing what that was in my 20s. And then when I decided to leave nursing, 30 years of nursing, and all the fears came up about leaving nursing, then I put it out there to the universe that I was going to leave nursing. And then all of a sudden I had an opportunity to work on a past life, the opportunity came up to do a demo, which I will do, by the way. If somebody wants to do a demo at the last part of this, I'm more than happy. As if a person wants it is okay with it being recorded as part of all this, that would be amazing. Anyway, so I volunteered to be a demo, and this memory from like 20, 30 years earlier came to my awareness, and then I thought, oh, maybe that was a past life, and it was. And I worked on that past life, got some healing from that, and after that past life, leaving nursing was a done deal. So it's quite phenomenal. What I'm finding is when you heal a past life, whatever that past life is, then the outcome in this life is just undeniable. Okay, so that was that. I've just seemed to the other part, a big part of my journey was when I needed to get out of the marriage I was in for whatever reason, and the universe decided they were going to give me an awakening. And I can only say that the way I articulate what happened was all my past lives, the portal on that day, which was July 2013, a portal opened up to all my past lives, and I was literally acting them out. So I was doing the Egyptian kind of, I was lying on the couch at one point with my arms across my chest. I was doing the Buddha in front of a tree. I was kind of fascinated by these Aboriginal artifacts that were in front of me. This is all at one house. It wasn't even my house. And that was a massive day for me. And I do believe that was the message for me, that I was destined to help people with past lives, to help heal them. Yeah. I know your picture's gone, I've gone to picture. I don't know if that's meant to be. Not your real person. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay, what else have we got? So, how do we know that we have a past life, or that we are aware of past lives on an unconscious level? Well, there's quite a few ways that can occur. People are fascinated when they start to realize where all the clues are. So even if what people are saying, you know, what language is saying. So as a practitioner, I'm very in tune with what people are saying. So they might say things to me like, oh, you know, it's like a witch hunt, or I was being prosecuted, or what other words are there? Yeah, all these words that are kind of medieval, words that are not used in this lifetime. People might desperately want to go to a certain country, or they've already been to that country, and they're just saying like it's home. That's a huge indication that they've been there before, and maybe in going there they're trying to seek something that happened in their past life that hasn't been resolved. Okay, now we might be able to do it just by going to that country, but sometimes not always, and sometimes healing work needs to be done in the form of Matrix Re-Imprinting. So yes, there are lots of different ways of doing healing with of past lives, but what I'm hearing, the feedback I'm getting, is that using Matrix Re-Imprinting is what actually gets to a deeper level, and we find that in this day, in this life as well. But in past lives, we certainly are getting great results. Psychological issues, physical issues, financial issues, anything really can go back there. Do I necessarily do a session purposely to go back into a past life to do healing? No, only if the person asks me. But what happens is quite often in a normal session, they will say something and we just follow that cue and we end up in past lives. I reckon I would say maybe 3 out of 5 clients will go past life. And I don't know they're going to go there, they don't know they're going to go there, but they just do. So it just shows you the relevance of having that ability to recognize a past life and then be able to follow that lead. Okay. What else have we got? The other area that is fascinating, and this happened just recently when I was teaching, is actually surrogate work, meaning that I might work with a client on a relative or a child or somebody. They do some surrogate work with the best intention, and that has gone back to a past life as well, where they were actually in that past life together. So the intention is actually to help another person, and then we, like I said, we'll go back to a past life, and absolutely in this lifetime there are shifts and changes for that person. What else have we got? Okay, so how does Matrix Re-Imprinting work? We have the memory, and what I do is I find out from the client that I'm working with, just we chunk it down to get to a specific memory. So it's as simple as, okay, in regards to this issue that you have, which century did this occur? Just tell me, just off the top of your head, just don't go into too much thought, because otherwise you're going too logical. And there's always a number come up, and the thing that I always hear is, I think I'm making this up. I think I'm making, and even if I say, please don't think you're making it up, they will say, I think I'm making it up. So anyway, we'll just get a century, we'll get a country, and these like seemingly random countries come up that the person would not normally say, but they just seem to have, this country just comes to mind. We then kind of find out what the terrain is like. You know, is it an open area, is it a town, something like that. We then kind of discover, are they looking through the eyes of somebody that is them at that time, or are they looking at somebody who is them? Quite often with past lives, I find that they actually become their in Matrix Re-Imprinting, we call it their echo. They actually become that, and they can see everything that's going on, in which case I will get the person to step out of that person and look at them and get them to tell me what their gender is, because even though you're a female in this lifetime, doesn't mean to say this past life you've gone back to you were also a female. You could be a male. Okay, it doesn't matter. We've all been everything at some stage. And so that's the theory. So when I say things like that, that has been validated. I ask questions of people in the know, and they tell me things. Yeah. So I'm just kind of when I say things like,
that's just your Facebook echoing on the other side. I've just offed it.
Oh, my echo.
Yeah. Your echo.
Oh, I'll make myself laugh. Anyway, all right. So then we ask the person, like, what is it that's not right for you? Like, why would I be coming back to help you? And it's quite phenomenal how these echoes will communicate with the person who's kind of stepped into this movie. So they're literally like an actor in a movie talking to themselves from this past life. And there's this communication that happens. and they will tell them how they're feeling, what the situation is. It really blows my mind how much of a story that people get just by kind of entering into this kind of movie, if you will, from their past life. Now, just on that note, I also need to tell you that we always make it safe. And that's a key component to Matrix Re-Imprinting. We make it safe for the person to visit. So if there's a war going on, if there's a perpetrator, we can pause the event. We can shrink people down so that the client feels safe to go and visit themselves in the memory. So that's a massive component that other modalities don't necessarily do. The other thing is when we go back to these moments, like quite often these past life cells, these echoes, are in shock, some kind of trauma. And as Anu would know, and anybody who's studied mental health, that tapping, EFT tapping, is crucial in applying that technique to the echo at that moment in time. And what you see is, even though the person is tapping, doing EFT on their echo, they will have a shift. I watch their chest, and they'll literally kind of, the person I'm working with will literally do that. And that just proves the point that when you're tapping, let's just say in the quantum field in the matrix, that something is effectively happening. So that's another major component of the healing work. The other major component is to find out what the perception of that person was, our past life person. What was your perception? Same in this life, because unless we know what is going on in their mind, and it might be, I'm powerless, I'm helpless, I couldn't help them, other people, I'm not good enough, I'm being punished for whatever reason. Until we know those beliefs, we really don't know what we're dealing with. And so as soon as we know the beliefs, we know exactly what we're doing, okay? Because every situation can have a different perception. Even the same situation for every person. Like if you have 10 people going back to the same past life memory, there can be 10 different perceptions. In fact, we did that exercise, didn't we, Anu, in India? We had one person scenario, and then when we went around the class, and there were many different perceptions that could have been, wasn't there? So it just proved the point. Yeah. So once we know that, if they're powerless, we have them being powerful. If they feel weak, we can have them feeling stronger. We can do all sorts of things. If they're not protected, we can kind of give protective bubbles, or if the person believes in angels, or higher beings, or whatever they want to do, they can bring those protective mechanisms in as well. So yeah, basically the goal is to have the echo have a whole, well, not a whole new experience, but certainly a different experience from what happened before. The other reason I really like Matrix Past Life Reimprinting is that if the person passed away in the past life at an early age, let's say, for example, the person was being punished for being a witch, let's just say, or for doing healing work. And this is really, I'm guessing a lot of people on this call will be light workers or doing healing work, whether it's through naturopathy, whether it's through herbs, doing energetic work. And a lot of us have been persecuted, punished in kind of quite, like horrible ways, really, in a past life. And so when people come to me for issues with their business and money issues, quite often, if they're kind of doing healing work, we go back to past lives. It's almost a given, I've kind of come to realize now. And so when we go back, and this is not my choice, this is the choice of the client and the echo, is, well, you're going to pass away at some point in that memory, in that other lifetime. So the choice is, do you want to pass away in the lifetime still, or if you have the option to live and then prosper and be accepted for what you do, or change location, whatever you want to do, then would you like to do that? And 95% of the time, the client will choose, and the echo will choose to live. All right. Now, my theory is, if somebody chooses to live and have a prospering life, lives longer in their past life, then how is that going to positively affect them in this life? If we are so tuned into these past lives and we are kind of, I don't want to use the word suffering, but in some way it's affecting us, and we change that, and our new experience is a longer life where we're prospering, then does that mean in this lifetime we're going to have a longer life? So that's my theory. I can't prove that, but it kind of makes sense to me. So that's a positive option as well. Certainly, people have done this work and prospered in the past life, and their finances have certainly changed in this life. I'll give you an example of a lady called Erica, who I have interviewed. She's on our membership program. She's openly, done an interview. She said this, that she was working on some money issues that she had, and she, African English lady, she had 5 children, young mother, 5 young children, single, trying to kind of manage her life. Tried to work on money issues in this lifetime. Nothing was working. My brother asked me to work with Erica. And Erica, straight away, as we tuned into the issue, went back to a past life where her family had been kind of killed. She survived but left with nothing. And so she chose to kind of rewind all that and get the riches back, get her family back. So we literally kind of rewrote history. And then what happened was, the funding that she previously applied for just before this session, she got to help her with her business. She applied to a TV show and she got the position. And I think today she still does TV work. She does a lot working with children and families. Now, I interviewed her 5 years later. So, and this was last year or the year before. So 5 years later, gave her an interview, and she said that her business was now worth £4 million. She'd been valued at £4 million. In Australian terms, that's about $7 million. I don't know what it is in India, but I think it's a lot of it's a lot of money, right? Okay, for somebody who is coping. Okay, so that was really cool. Another lady, she just couldn't get over her fear of flying. So this is great for phobias as well. Like, it's just so exciting. So this lady couldn't get on a plane. She needed to go somewhere. So it was kind of again, emergency session. And she tried to work on it for this lifetime stuff. Anyway, we ended up in a past life where she was a cripple, a young boy and a cripple. And her father had put her under the floorboards and had basically left her. So she basically had, it was the claustrophobia aspect of flying. So we went back and she chose to get him out of the floorboards. We had him safe. I can't remember exactly what we did, but certainly safe and not trapped under those floorboards. And she was able to get in a plane and fly after that, which was really cool. Another lady had a moth phobia. Had no idea where this moth phobia came from. We went again, we did a little bit of work on this life, but the biggest thing was to go back to a past life. She was running away from somebody who was trying to kill her. There was a few people chasing her. She hid within a tree, the hollow of a tree, and in the hollow of the tree there were moths. And so the moths represented that she was basically going to die, or something bad was going to happen. That was it, end of. And so we had it that she was safe in that past life. So yeah, it's like just phenomenal. yeah, the results that people are getting. And I do believe sometimes that people need to go to past lives to heal the origins. I'm also finding that there are certain past lives that I think we're highly, highly tuned into. They're more predominant than others. And so it's having that detrimental effect in this life. Again, going back to physical health, emotional well-being. Yeah. So when we get back to these key memories, and I did it in a session today, a lady went back to 3 different memories, past life. The session was not meant to go there. It doesn't matter. It did. And there was one key one that she was a invalid. She was in a chair, a wheelchair as a teenager. She was also tuned into her later life in that lifetime as an old woman still sitting in that chair and feeling like she had no purpose. Totally reflected her lifetime issue that we were working on. Now, we had it that she had friends come as a teenager, she had friends come round, we brought in some angels to help her to get up and walk again, do some psychic surgery. She literally, it's like she just leapt out of the window, not smashing it, not in a dangerous way, just leapt out of the open window and went off and played. And after the session, the lady literally said to me, I feel like going for a run. She said, I've stopped running. With all the COVID stuff going on, I've stopped running. And she said, but I feel like going for a run, right? So what does that tell you about healing that past life and the action of now her echo? And then she was tuned into the positive effects of that. Okay, so Anu, how much longer have I got? Because I know we started late, so I'm just a bit kind of... I think you might be muted.
We have about an hour right now, so you have enough time. Don't worry.
We have an hour left?
Yes.
Right, okay, we have an hour left. So there's question and answers and a demo to do, yeah?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Can I, because I'm just aware that I'm kind of talking.
Yeah.
And so is it okay to do some Q&A now?
Of course.
Because quite often that leads to,
Of
you
course.
may expand.
So
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is ask people to put their hand up on the Zoom, and I will unmute you. So that's it. Okay. So we have Benaifa. Could you please ask the question? Unmute yourself. And others, please. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Caroline. When you were speaking about the past life of being persecuted and being a witch, so
Yeah.
I can actually relate to that because there have been times in my life, like a couple of years ago also, and a couple of months ago also, where I've had this very heavy feeling around my solar plex, and continuously this thought runs in my head that I was a witch and I was persecuted, and now it wants this, the power that I had, the work that I used to do, it needs to come out again in this life. So yeah, so it's something which I haven't been able to resolve.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But it's, I mean, I could actually relate to whatever you were saying.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And look, people say things like, oh, I just feel hot all the time, or yeah, like they just basically, like it's just literally like people have that feeling that they were burnt, yeah, or they're around fire a lot, or things like that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. Let's go with Dr. Newton. And others, please raise your hand up if you have a question. Dr. Newton, please unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Anu. Hello, Caroline.
Could you show your face, please? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm seeing that's a beautiful tree.
No, I'm there live as well. Like you can see me.
Okay, but I can't see you here.
Now, can you see me?
Yeah. No, I can only see a tree.
All right. So I've got two questions.
Yes.
I've got two questions. One is just few days back, I heard that we live
Your voice is trailing. Your voice is trailing. You'll have to
in
take off.
many lives.
Your voice is
So when
trailing.
we talk about past, have any past life, or I don't reconnect with those, then how can we, get into those lives and sort out issues with what we are facing in this life? Thank you.
Nutan, we could
Right.
understand. Yeah, you could understand, Caroline. Go ahead. Please answer.
Well, I think basically, yeah, it was.
There
it
are
was a
two
bit of
questions,
interference
different.
there. Yeah. So how do you go and clear them? Well, that's the whole thing, really. There are techniques like hypnotherapy and that, but Matrix Re-Imprinting, like what I was talking about, it's just like for me, just with the experience of all these years, is like the perfect healing tool. But unless you know what you're doing, you really need to do it with a practitioner, with somebody who knows what they're doing, to help you get to the memory and then to actually do the healing work. Does that answer your question?
Not actually.
Can you take off? Can you take off your?
I heard that we live at the same time.
Nutan, your voice is trailing. So can you take off your video and then speak? Maybe that
Is that okay if I write in the chat box?
That would be splendid.
Can you read that for me?
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'll do that.
Yeah. So Caroline, she's going to put it in the chat box. You have the chat box right there. You can have a look at what she's saying right now. So let her put it.
Okay.
Others also have an opportunity to put it in the chat box. So till then, okay. Till she's writing, maybe we can go with Shraddha. Shraddha, please unmute yourself.
So, Caroline, my question is, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi. So my question is, you mentioned something about surrogate in your, could you elaborate a bit more on that? How about it?
Yeah, sure. So
Thank
for
you.
example, I'll just give you an example. There was a lady this has happened a few years ago, and she contacted me because her son he was just so angry with the world. He just put himself into isolation, would not communicate with his father, with her. A lot of stuff had happened in his life. Anyway, so she said, can you help me? And I said, well, we could, because you're coming to me with the best intention for him. Because remember, there's the kind of human self and there's the higher self, yeah? And I said, well, we can do some surrogate matrix re-imprinting with you. So the goal was actually to work on traumas that she was aware of that he had experienced in this lifetime, okay? However, in the session, it naturally went to another lifetime where she was a perpetrator of his. So it's almost like in this life, he was angry with her. Yes, he had other reasons to be angry, but he was also angry with her as a perpetrator. So what we did was we went back into this memory that she was very vivid for her. And so we did, the great thing was we were able to do some work with her and also him in the matrix, yeah? And what happened after that session was he actually rang her. She missed the call, but he basically said, oh, she's stupid. I remember her saying, it's your stupid son. I'm just calling you. She said that was very out of character. The other thing that happened, though, was he actually came out of hiding and started to allow the father to help him get back into life, get a job, find somewhere to live, So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nutan has written in the chat. Could you just read it?
Oh, the chat. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
I heard that we live in many lives at a time.
Yeah.
So how to resonate in current life to the other lives or past lives? What is someone don't have any memory or any feeling, like the roots of the issues of the current life can be form of past life? How to guide the person?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up to how many lives can we go past life regression. Okay, so again, you know, I've had clients who are not spiritual, they're not light workers or anything, and yet we've still gone to a past life. They had no idea, all right? But, you know, all those clues that I was saying, even like facial features, clothes that people wear, movies that people watch, books that they watch, yeah? So what's that TV series that medieval one that everybody's seen? Oh, Game of Thrones, right? Now, if somebody is like massively into Game of Thrones, which I'm not, I've seen it, whatever. But that tells me there's probably some past life medieval stuff going on that they've had. It's like when people are obsessed with these things, like certain movies, like what movies are you drawn to watch? You know, like things like Ben-Hur or whatever, you know. So how do you guide them? Well, it's basically picking up on these clues and then just kind of following that lead, really. Yeah, that's really, unless a past life comes up just naturally, that's the way that I'll help guide people to these past lives. Okay.
Are there any more questions, or we can then go in for a demonstration?
Up to how many lives? Right, so somebody's put up to how many lives can we get past life regressions done? Right. If you do a past life regression, like I was saying, if you go to a hypnotherapist or someone who does past life regressions, I don't know. Let me just give you this one. A lady years ago, she was a family friend actually, she told me she went to her healer. Now, she was probably in her 70s at this time that I was speaking to her. And she, her healer took her back to all her past lives, all the way back to the cave. Now, even though he was her healer, he did nothing to help her heal them. And so she had all sorts of stuff going on, like she was in the guillotine, there was incest, she had committed suicide when she was a teenager. So now 30 years later, she's talking to me about this. And so she had all these traumas just sitting there in her conscious awareness, and going back to what Anu said, you know, that can be really detrimental. And so we went systematically through these key traumas that were bothering her, that she'd now been living with for 30 years. So I just wanted to point that one out as well, you know. So what else have we got? Is it possible that that one can forget the past lives and just living? Is it possible that one can forget all the past lives? Right. Depends. We can't forget them because they're there in the Matrix. Yeah. So just like we know our traumas in this life are sitting in the Matrix. I don't need to go into it and all that. If you think about it, it's like past lives are still happening now. Otherwise, we wouldn't be tuned into them so much. So they're still playing out. Those echoes are still reenacting these moments of shock and trauma and whatever happened. And so we don't forget them consciously. Right, so consciously, we're not aware of them necessarily. It's the unconscious we are aware of them, okay, and we're acting them out. And it's really kind of blown my mind, really, how much we do that. Yeah, so I think that might answer that question.
Thank you, Charoline. Thank you so much.
Yeah, did that help?
Yes, she said it helped.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
I am Caroline. This is Anjali. Just a question in case the time permits. Hello.
Yes. Go on, Anjali.
Yeah, what was the question?
It's a very weird one, actually. Just wanted to check in. Like you said, you get into past life, and the fears that you're experiencing now, the fears and the feelings that you're experiencing now, it helps to get away with those fears and feelings once we have got this past life regression and all that. By any chance, is it possible that the fears of past life, which we might not be experiencing right now in this life, we can carry those in this life when we get back there and come back again? Is it possible that way? Does it ever happen that way? I hope.
So Anjali, one, she's not doing regression.
No. I'm not talking about regression.
I know what you're asking. It's like, so if they're all happening now, like, are you asking like, can you tune into one at one point, can you tune into another at another point?
Like, the past life helps us
just like you, it helps you. Can there be times that you go and pick up something from there and come back?
Negative. That is what I am asking.
Or are you actually going there and coming back?
No. Do we ever pick up something negative from the past life ever?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of the reasons people come to see me as a client is because of that very reason. Whether it's financial issues, whether it's physical issues, whether it's phobias, yeah. And we just, again, my intention in this session is to not go past life. That's not my intention unless somebody asks me to help them go back into a past life, because it's like they have a knowing. It's like, well, this is my issue. I just know it's past life, right? But it's like on any given day, I'm tuned into different past lives. So, for example, I'll get up in the morning and I'll put my Egyptian top on, like this goddess thing. And everything that day becomes Egyptian. Like I'll go and look at towels, and they're Egyptian towels, or different things like that, right? And another day I'm quite highly tuned into India as well. So I knew I'll put something up on Facebook, or I'll kind of notice my Indian things, or I want to wear something that I bought in India. It's really, I don't know how that works. Well, we call it triggers, don't we? Do you know what I mean? Whether it's a positive or negative trigger. So it's almost like, because I do healing work, it's almost like I'll tune into what I need to be that day, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm just going to throw something really out there that has come to my awareness just recently, and I'm just putting it out there. The universe seems to be showing me this. I believe that split personalities, so are actually our past lives coming through. So if somebody has trauma, it's almost like they unconsciously find, let's call it an archetype that they need at that time, yeah. And I've actually proven this because I did a demo with a lady who had an ice addiction. This is quite interesting. So it usually takes me a long time to explain this, but what happened was a personality came through who had a name called Sarah, and I just negotiated this with this Sarah, and just said, look, this lady wants to heal from this ice addiction, so if you just like step aside. And she did, and then the memory in this life came through. Now what Sarah actually did was, when the lady tuned into this going back to the source of this ice, when I say ice I mean frozen water, right, she did this, she just did this. And it's only, and this is years ago, right? And anyway, 2 people on 2 different courses, when I shared this story, said, I'm thinking Titanic. Now, this action is swimming, which it never occurred to me before, all right? Because she did this other thing like this, right? Whether it's the propeller of the boat, I don't know. But she was doing this. And so they were saying Titanic. Now, if you think about it, the Titanic hit an iceberg and it was freezing water. And then, is it a coincidence this lady in this life's dealing with an ice addiction of frozen water, and then Sarah comes through? I don't think there's any coincidence there. All right. So that was actually quite a phenomenal experience to have. And then there's all sorts of other stuff that I've kind of, the universe is showing me. So yeah, so that's an interesting concept, isn't it?
Thanks, Charoline. Thanks.
Okay.
I think there's some more in the chat.
Okay. Yep. I get carried away. What else have we got? can we imprint if someone knows? Can we imprint if someone knows their past life? I know someone who is going through cancer treatment, and in previous life he was a doctor and he treated his patients and others badly. Can we imprint if someone knows their past life? I don't know what that means. Can we imprint if... Okay, what they can do, because again, you know, we reincarnate for karmic reasons. So if he was a bad person in the past life, then karmically he's coming into this life to have an experience, whatever that might be. If he actually did some work, as we're describing, on becoming a great doctor, doing great healing work, could that help him heal in this life? Anything's possible. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So, yeah, good question though. Have I covered everything?
I think so. So guys, all questions done? Anybody? Tick, tick 1, tick, tick 2, tick, tick 3. Anybody still wants to ask questions?
That's so I know.
So I know. Got it. Okay. Yes, Sumita, you have a question? Sumita, you have a question, my dear?
Sumita? No?
Okay.
Let's have a look.
Okay, guys. Very nicely. Is there anybody else who needs to ask a question? If not, then we get into demonstration. Okay,
No.
Binaifa, you have a question still?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, perfect.
All
So
right.
who would like to work? So put your hands up and then...
I don't mind working with her.
Okay, go ahead. Binaifa.
Is this somebody volunteering?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and is it okay if we record this? Because I'm just like to use this down the track for
Are you okay?
Yeah, are you
if
okay?
it goes on the Facebook? Otherwise, I off the Facebook.
Is it okay to
If I
put
go
on the
on,
Facebook?
is it okay if it goes on the Facebook and it gets recorded, or I remove it from the Facebook right now? I go off live.
Yeah, go off live because I don't know what will come.
Okay.
Sorry.
Not a problem, but we can record it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Bye,
Right.
guys.
Hello.
Okay. I've stopped sharing Facebook Live.
Okay. Okay. Hi. Now, what was it that you wanted to? Actually, let me just check. What was it that you would like to investigate, work on?
I was the one who was talking about the past life, the sensation of being the witch.
Right. Okay. Right. So, because I didn't quite hear it. The fire. Did you say fireplace?
I don't know how, but I just felt that there was a persecution, and
Right.
yeah, but
Okay.
I don't know how.
Okay. And what do you do now? What work do you do?
I am a tarot reader. I do a lot of healing modalities.
And come back again. Is it possible?
And I practice Reiki. I practice quantum healing. But the search is still on.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm still exploring new modalities because somewhere I feel that there is something else. And since I was a teenager, I was always drawn to witchcraft and to do spell work. But I never found a teacher. So I didn't take that up professionally because I felt like I love to watch movies of magic and Merlin. And, I've always felt attracted to the Celtic, the old religion, the Celtic symbols. So those are something which I've always, like I'm drawn to that.
Okay.
A lot.
So there's a lot of clues there, right? Exactly what we've been saying. Yeah. All right. Brilliant. Right. So what I'm going to now, were you on the courses? No?
Sorry?
You've not done Matrix Re-Imprinting before? No, you haven't done this work before, what I'm going to do with you. No, okay,
no.
I was just checking. Yeah.
No.
Okay, cool. So, all right. First of all, I need to show you the tapping points, actually. All right. So, have you done EFT before?
Yes, yes. I know the
You
points.
have.
The basic points I know. Yes.
You have. Okay, cool. So
Yes.
that's nothing new for you. All right, brilliant. Okay. So, what I'll do then is just talk you through the tapping points while we're doing the tapping, because it really doesn't take a lot of tapping. So we'll just fast track through all that. Okay, so this process is step-by-step process, yeah, because a lot of this is going to be done in your head. If I ask you to talk to your echo, to tap on your echo, to, you know, say things, you don't have to do it out loud, you can do it in your head. However, I just need you to let me know with a nod of your head or a yes that you've done each step. All right,
Okay.
as we go through the process.
Yeah,
All right,
I
brilliant.
think I'll just wear my headphones. So just give me a second.
Okay. Are you right to go?
Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Can you hear me? Yes.
Oh,
Because
that's
the
a lot
Bluetooth
better.
keeps slipping off of my ears.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. It was a bit Dalek-y before. All right, cool. So now then, are you okay to close your eyes?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so just have a few breaths, 3 breaths, just to kind of get centered. Okay. All right. Now I'm just going to ask you some questions in regards to this sense of being punished, because that's the sense, isn't it? I was punished in some way. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So in regards to this sense of being punished, please give me a century where this occurred.
15.
What was that?
15.
15? Yeah, 15th century. Okay, cool. Can you give me a country?
Nevada.
Nevada. Yep. Is that Nevada in America? Yeah.
Getting Nevada, Netherlands. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, in the Netherlands. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Can you give me a north or a south?
Sorry.
Can you get north or south of that area?
I'm getting an east.
East. All right. Brilliant. Okay. So where this occurred, this punishment that you went through, was it kind of a rural area? Was it an urban area?
It was like a village.
A village. Okay, great. And what are you seeing in that village? Are you seeing people? Sounds like houses and that, yeah? So can you see
Yeah. So
people there?
it's like small hutments, and
It's,
yeah, it's like, you know, the village folk.
yes. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. Now, are you looking through the eyes of somebody, or are you looking at somebody who could be you?
I still can't figure out where I am over there.
You don't know where you are?
I
No.
don't know who I am as yet. I mean, I'm
Right,
looking
okay,
at
cool.
everything, but I don't know where I am.
Yeah, fantastic. So in that case, I'm guessing that you are your echo. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is just imagine or stepping out of that person and tell me who you see. Are they male or female?
Female.
Female. And roughly how old are they?
32.
In their 20s?
32.
32. Right. That's very distinctive, isn't it? Okay, so 32 female. What dress has she got on? Like what is she wearing? Clothes?
It's like a gown,
Yeah. Has it got a colour?
white. Actually,
White?
seems white with little purplish.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And what's happening in this picture? What's going on?
So it's like she's just there, but nobody's looking at her at the moment. Everyone's just doing their work. But it's like she's in the middle of the square.
Right.
But
And
like it's like she's invisible.
she's like, right, okay, cool. Now, just a quick question. Do you feel invisible in your life? Have you felt like people don't see you, you're invisible?
Yes.
Not taken notice of? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. So maybe you were quite tuned into this past life, yeah? Right, now we're going to go up and see her. So if you can just go gently up to her, let me know when you're kind of right next to her, yeah?
Yeah.
Beautiful. And can she see you? Or sense you?
It's very weird because I'm trying to see her face, but I'm just getting an actress's face, which is very strange because it seems very silly.
Right. Have you seen any movies similar to this?
With this actress, yeah. And it's,
Yeah.
I can even tell you the character's name. She is the Snow Queen in, I can't remember the name of the movie now.
That's about Sleeping Beauty or something, yeah?
No, it's
Chronicles of Narnia.
not. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Thank you.
All right, cool. All right, well, that's okay, because it might be you resonate with her just because of your past life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
And there is a phenomenon about movies, which I won't go into right now, but let's just go with the flow, okay? Right, can you ask her, oh, actually, just let her know that you're her from a future life and that you've come back to help her. Everything's going to be okay. Yeah. And ask her how she's feeling right now, being stood in the middle of this square.
She said she wants her presence to be felt. She wants her power to be known.
Okay,
But
yeah.
she doesn't know what to do. Because
Okay.
she has helped people before.
What has she done before?
She has helped people before.
Helped people before. Yeah, okay, cool. How does it feel for her being in this situation? What emotions are there?
Frustration.
Frustration. Where does she feel that energy, the frustration in her body?
The solar plex.
Solar plexus, yeah. What if there was a negative colour on that, what would it be?
A black.
Black. If there was a positive colour to lighten and brighten that, what would it be?
A red.
So what was the colour?
Red. Red.
Oh, red, yeah. Okay, so just bring that through, washing that all through her, because that's a colour for empowerment, which is great. All right, and then we're just going to do some tapping on her. So I'll just take you through the points. So if you can tap on her karate chop point and say these words, please. So even though you're feeling really frustrated right now, you are still a great person anyway. even though you are feeling really frustrated, you can choose to let that go. It is safe to let that go now. And then just go to the top of her head, all this frustration, tapping between her eyebrows, all this frustration. At the side of her eye, choosing to let this go now. Under her eyes, all this frustration. Under her nose, choosing to let that go now. Under her bottom lip, all this frustration. Under her arm, choosing to let that go now. Now it seems to have frozen. Anu, are you still there?
Yeah, of course I'm there.
Yeah. No, I was just checking whether it's my end or with her. So it's not. It's yeah.
Denaifa, are you still there? Denaifa, are you still there?
She's muted.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I did I log out?
Okay. Yeah. How far did you get? Because everything just froze. Funny enough.
Till the actually, what happened is while I was tapping here, I felt her entire. It was like a shell, and it just burst open, and that is when this went off.
Ah. Okay. All right. Like a healing. You felt a healing thing?
I felt like it was a mask, and it just blasted.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's just check in with her now. Your echo. Yeah. See how if there's been any shift in her.
So now she's feeling very old and like a lot of weight on her shoulders still, like very tired. Initially she was like standing tall, but now it's like, giving up.
She's giving up. Getting up or giving up?
Giving up.
Giving up. Right. So what is her belief about her life, her world right now?
That good people are not appreciated.
Poor people.
Good people are not appreciated.
Good people are not appreciated. Right. Okay. So what we need to do is create the opposite. What could she do or have right now so that she's visible, that she's appreciated, accepted within a community? What might happen?
So it is like somebody has taken away her staff, which was her stick, her magical stick, and if she gets that back, that back, then she would get herself back.
Okay, cool. Right, so let's have it that somebody is able to find that for her and return it. However that happens. What I love about past life work is things just seem to magically happen. So
yeah, so she feels that her teacher took it away from her, and she really had a lot of respect for this teacher, and if he just gave it back, then it would mean a lot.
Okay. All right. So maybe she could talk to him and get it back. Yeah. Like he understands the need for her. It's more important for him to give it to her than it is for him to keep it.
Should I continue tapping?
Pardon?
Should I continue tapping?
How is she feeling? Is she feeling a lot of emotion right now? Because if it's more about logistics, if it's more about getting her wand back, and feeling good about that, then that's okay. But if you feel that she needs tapping, then we can do more tapping. So what's she feeling now?
She's feeling very emotional, and she feels a lot has been taken away from her, which was not right.
Okay, so can you just literally just keep tapping through her points? If she's really emotional, you don't need to say any words, yeah? Just keep tapping through her points. Bring in more colour, whatever that colour might be that would help.
So she needs a golden color.
Gold, beautiful. That's
Yeah.
great colour. Yeah.
And she's getting it.
Yeah. And she's shifting, isn't she? Because I can tell with you, because you are. Yeah? Cool. See, that's how tuned in you are to her, that you would get emotional at the same time as her, right? Well done. How's she feeling now?
It's much better.
Much better, yeah. Do you need to get a tissue or anything? No? Okay. All right, brilliant. Okay. So what does she need now to do, to know, to have?
So she's just waiting for her teacher to hand over the staff. Like he's there. So it's very strange because he's just half out of the clouds. He's holding the staff in his hand, but he's just waiting for something to hand it over to her.
He's waiting for something.
To
Or
hand
she
it
is.
over to her. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because he's just popped out from the cloud.
Okay. So can we fast track that? Whatever needs to happen so she can get it back in her hand?
Can you hear me? I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Can we fast track that so that she can get it back as soon as possible? Whatever needs to happen.
Yeah. He's handed it
All right.
over to her.
Nice. And now how does she feel?
She's very powerful again.
Okay. So what can she do now to get a sense of moving forward? Because, you know, she was stood there in the middle of that square feeling invisible. What can she do now to get her power back, which is what you were saying? Yeah.
She just needs to move out of that place. And she knows another place where she can go, which is hers, which is her home.
Okay, cool. So let's get a sense of her going there, that sense of movement forward. What does she need to have like a prosperous life now? Because you were saying about, yeah, what does she need?
So
Is
she
it more
just
people?
needs more people. Yeah, she just needs more people to be aware of her and what she can do to help them.
Okay, brilliant. And so how can that occur at this time? Whether
So
she puts out.
she's moving into this new house of hers.
Yep.
And she knows that once she's there, then people will know about her and will come to me.
Okay. And then the more people that know her can tell more people, and
Yes.
it just becomes perpetuating, yeah?
Yes.
All right, so maybe you can fast track through that so you get a real sense of everybody getting to know what she does.
Yeah. She's very happy now. I've got a very light feeling on my solar plex. It's very light.
Right, you've got that light feeling, yeah?
Yeah, it's very expansive.
Nice. Okay, so is there anything else that she needs to do, to know, or to have? No? All right, brilliant. And so what has she learnt from this experience?
She just needed to be more confident.
Okay. So she's not invisible anymore? No. Okay, cool. Does that feel complete?
Yeah, she knows there is little more left to work on herself, but that's not going to stop her from succeeding now.
Okay, cool. All right. Just ask her if she's got a message for you.
Don't take no for an answer.
Sorry?
Don't take no for an answer.
Don't take no for an answer. Okay. Note to self. All right, brilliant. Okay, so what we're going to do is what we call reimprint that, which is basically sending a message to your body, your mind, your body, that we've got a new version of this past life. Yeah? Okay. So if there's an overall colour on that picture, what would it be?
A gold.
Gold? Yeah, beautiful. What's the feelings on that picture now, on that new experience?
It's very expansive. It's a very light feeling. It's like everything is instantaneous. It's very magical.
Nice. Okay, cool. And then you've got the visual of her prospering, being visible, being acknowledged for who she is. Yeah?
Yes.
Brilliant. So just by intention, what we're going to do is bring that the gold colour, all those feelings of lightness, like being visible, thriving, prospering, and the visual. Take all the information in through the top of your head, through your top chakra, if that's what you, yeah. Retracking all the neurons of your brain with this new experience. Just when you're ready, taking that to every cell of your body. The gold, the lightness, the experience, the visual, especially your solar plexus area, because that's where the energy was, yeah? Brilliant. Take your time doing that. And then when you're ready, taking all that, the colour, the feelings, the visual, into your heart, all around your heart, and then out in your field in all different directions. And let me know when you've done that. Yeah, beautiful. And looking back on that picture now, what do you see? Is it the old version or a new version?
No, totally new one.
Totally new. And what do you actually see? Because it's not always exactly what we reimprint. So just like to check, what do you actually see now when you look back at that?
So now she's in the new place. She's happy. She's got her staff back. She's got her power back. And this is where her home is. This is where she knows she belongs.
Beautiful. All right, fantastic. All right. Now, just before you open your eyes, sometimes when we do past life work, it can be a bit ungrounding. So I'm just going to do a grounding technique with you. So if you can just put your feet flat on the floor and imagine gold, like a gold shower, coming through the top of your head, bringing it through your head, down to your shoulders, torso, down to your legs, and sending that gold all the way down your legs, through your feet, into the ground, into branches, going thicker, thicker, deeper, deeper, all the way to the center of the earth, just to get that grounding. Yeah. All right. How are you feeling? I'll get you to open your
Amazing.
eyes now. Hey?
It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah? Cool. How do you feel different? How do you
I just feel that weight which was there on my solar plexus just been lifted.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
It's amazing. I'm a little dizzy, but it's okay.
Right. So the dizziness is a heal, like from my understanding, it's like a healing thing. Yeah, because everything kind of like shifting. Yeah.
It's realigning, I guess.
Yeah. Now you can also do some tapping, like even though I'm feeling dizzy, if it's really bothering you. All right.
Yeah.
But just know that it's a normal after effect. It can be. Yeah, because
Okay.
especially when it's a survival thing, which in your case it was.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing the
Thank
demo.
you so much.
All right. Might get to see you. If you're from India, yeah? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Yes.
next time I'm in India, I might get to meet you.
Of course, I will. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Do we need, does anybody have a question after this? We could probably take questions after this. There is also a request if you want to do another demonstration, then somebody's ready. If not, then we can go in straight for question and answers or whatever else you have in mind. Okay, Doreen, please unmute
I have a
yourself.
question.
Yes.
Okay. So, hi, Caroline. I have a question.
See you. Can we see you? Thank you.
Yes, I will.
Nice picture of your daughter. Is that your daughter?
Yes, that's me and my daughter. She's sitting here right now painting.
Oh, I like your hairstyle.
So, Caroline, I was just wondering, have you ever, while you work with so many clients, have you ever experienced a client who does not feel like they are carrying the curse, but if you just look at certain events in their ancestral history, you do feel that there could be a possibility of that? And how is it that you then work on it?
Right. I literally was just teaching in Sydney, and I had exactly this experience with somebody. All right.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different because we're not going to, you can go to memories where the curse occurred. But what I did with this lady is there's a way of kind of working, which is basically like a meditation state. Yeah. So what I do is take people, it's like literally being up above the clouds, that kind of thing. And then we actually bring in the ancestors, the relevant ancestors, whether it's your mother line, father line. And then we can bring in higher beings or angels to clear the curse. And we get tapping done and colour, and it's really quite powerful. Yeah. And where this showed up was when this lady, we actually were working on her birth, and she felt like she couldn't come out, and it was literally like this curse was like holding her back. And so we went in and did this work on her mother's line, and we cleared it with her grandmother, great grandmother, I think it was them two, plus her mother. We just had all this tapping going on with the angels and that. Anyway, we got resolution, everything seemed fine. And then when we came back to her echo in the womb, her echo's just like, I'm out. It's just like boom, like it had all disappeared. It was really quite powerful. Yeah, so that's how I kind of work with that.
Okay. I'm asking you this because, like from my mother's line, they have come to India from Portuguese. And recently, while I was seeing a series, it's called as The Last Kingdom. It was a lot about the Danish culture, paganism and everything. And it kind of, made me feel like there is something to that, which is probably, Like it
Yeah,
could be a curse from that time, because somehow surprisingly I could feel a little bit of a connection to the way they were dressed, the way they spoke, the way they lived
sure.
their life basically. And I felt that it's, a part of the separation also comes from, from the past life there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, ultimately, you don't really know until you go in there. Do you know what I mean? So it might feel
okay,
like a curse, um,
okay,
or it might be something different from that, but it's just an energy. Do you know what I mean? It's
okay,
like yeah, all right,
okay,
but whatever it is, you can still kind of do clearing work on it. Yeah,
okay, okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay. Any more questions? Anybody?
Anu Nutan has written a question.
Nutan, please go. Can you read that out for?
Yeah, she's written that is it possible to have a bird or animal life and now you're a human being?
Right, brilliant question, because that's something I've not covered. Okay, I wondered about this. I did ask somebody who did past life regressions, did they believe in animals, not to invalidate it, but just to see what they said. They absolutely said no. I don't believe that. So it's interesting, past life regressions, that they would have that opinion. The reason I don't believe in it is or believe that answer is because, as I mentioned, when I had a past life, when all my past lives opened up on that particular day in 2013, within 3 months, I had a tattoo of 2 dolphins on my here, and not knowing anything about it then, because I've learned everything in hindsight. But since then, I have done a meditation where they took us, they took us into a deep meditation. They said, have a look at your feet. And I'm like, I haven't got any feet. But then what I did was I got an absolute sense of like being in the water as a dolphin and like literally being there. I've never had something so real. So I believe that was my dolphin self. If you look into Buddhism, they actually say that you can come back as animals, like you can actually interchange between humans and animals. And I actually believe that to be true as well. I actually believe that somebody who's in my life now was actually my dog when I was growing up as a teenager. And we've had challenges around I'm going to leave you before you leave me, as in on his side of the thing. But I actually left my dog to come to Australia from England. I literally left him and he passed away without me saying goodbye to him. Well, I said goodbye when I left, but it's like I abandoned him, if you make sense, right? And that has been our issue in this lifetime, albeit still my lifetime, it's his lifetime. Lots of examples of the fact that we come and go as different animals, and that can be a karmic thing, or it's just what you're meant to come into this life to experience. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Wonderful. So we have another
Yes,
person.
thank you so much.
Shamla, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah, hi Caroline, how are you?
Hi.
Yeah. So my question is, sometimes when I try to regress a client, so the client is totally blank. The client says that I just cannot see anything. I'm not able to. I mean, like I cannot answer the questions. So how do we go about with such client? Is it like that? That particular issue, the right time has not come to solve that issue or something like that, or what? And how do we go about with such clients?
So are you talking
So
about regression? Are you talking about regression?
No, not exactly regression. Supposing if I'm taking the client back to one particular moment or whatever the problem the client has, as I said, the client simply says no, I don't know, no, I mean no, nothing, simply blank. So how do we
okay, so you're trying to take them to that place, but they're just like, nah, not got anything, da da da. All right, so a few reasons for that. If the client is seeing you of their own free will, as in husband, wife haven't dragged them along, because that's usually when people don't go anywhere, right? It's like, nah, not got anything, not, oh, well, have a guess. No, I've not got anything. Do you know what I mean? So I look at the dynamics of why they're there. are they being forced to go there by somebody? All right, so let's take that out of the equation. Sometimes people have a reason to hold on to an issue, like we call it psychological reversal. So even though they're consciously coming in and paying you money for a session, their subconscious is kind of going, no, I need to hold on to this for whatever reason. Like say it's financial, that they're on welfare because they've got this particular issue, and then there's a potential of getting rid of that physical issue, and then they've got to go back to work, that kind of thing. If it's particularly past life and you're trying to get them into a past life and they're saying, I don't know, I'll just say guess. All right, because I just know ultimately, unless this is their first incarnation, which is very unlikely, then it will be there. Do you know what I mean? So I don't give people the opportunity. I'm kind of quite strict, and that's just a confidence and experience thing, where I don't give them an option for I don't know. I mean, I did that today with somebody because they're not particularly spiritual, not particularly quite left brain, right? And so I just didn't give her the option of I don't know, or it's not. Do you know what I mean? And we absolutely got there, to 3 past lives actually. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Wonderful.
I've just remembered you told me to speak slowly when I'm talking to people in India, and I'm talking very fast, so I will slow it down a bit. She says at the end of 2 hours.
It's okay. People who have to understand well and who don't, they will go through the recording again, so don't worry.
Yes, well, that's the great thing about recording, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and I think people will understand.
Okay,
so
great.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else with questions? Okay, we have Doreen with question. Doreen, go ahead.
No question. I don't know how that happened. I was just checking something else. Sorry.
Not a problem. Anybody else with questions? Okay. So what is it that you want to do from here, Caroline? Do you want to take another demonstration? Do you want to end it? Do you want to say something? How do you go about it? Because I'll leave it to you.
I'm just looking at the time actually. 37, 38, 30. Okay. Right. So who was it that wanted to do? Was somebody else wanting to do a demo? Were they?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Who is that?
Dr. Newton.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Can you see me?
No. Can now. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I go Facebook Live with your demonstration or no? You have to decide right now.
Yes, we can go off from Facebook.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Off?
No, she doesn't want it on the Facebook.
Okay, just on Zoom, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Hold it off.
Okay, great. Okay, so what are you a doctor of? Where's she gone?
I'm here.
I just can't see your picture, love.
What are you the
see me now?
doctor of? She's asking you what.
I'm doctor of colors. Research on the colors.
Research on colours?
Yeah, based on colors.
Are you a medical doctor?
No, medical doctor. No.
No. Okay. All right. It's just interesting to find out, because then it's like, okay, is that relevant to what we're going to go to? All right. So yeah, why do you want to? What do you kind of want to work on? What makes you want to do this demonstration?
My relationship with my husband.
Yeah. Okay. Meaning what?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. So the relationship with your husband.
Okay. Can you hear me? My relationship with my husband I would like to work on.
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just wondering if there's a bit of delay. Yeah. Right. Now, do you feel like you've been together in a past life?
There's some issue. No, no idea.
Okay. All right. So what's the issue? Can you share what the issue is that you're